Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey everybody, this is Danny Lambert, President and Founder of Plush Republic Digital Marketing. My other Google Tag Manager videos have gotten a lot of traction, so today I figure I'm going to go over just the basic, what is Google Tag Manager, for those of you who don't know. I get that question a decent amount, so I'm going to answer the core fundamentals of what it is, what it's for, show you what the tool looks like, and just give you a brief introduction of what its purpose is and a little bit of a view under the hood. So to set up Google Tag Manager, all you have to do is Google Tag Manager, click the first link. It'll prompt you to create an account. So you can just sign in with your Gmail account and it will create a Google Tag Manager account for you. Once you land in here, it'll look like this. But before we hop into the various options, let me give a brief explanation as to what purpose this serves within your marketing technology and website stack. So traditionally, if I wanted to deploy scripts from various applications, for example, Facebook script, a Google Analytics script, chatbot, like the one behind my video player here, like Drift that I have on my site. All these are various code snippets that you have to implement on your site. And traditionally, you'd have to either put this into the hard code of your site yourself or give it to a developer to do so. What Google Tag Manager allows you to do is put the Google Tag Manager script on your site, and instead of having to put all 20, 30, 40 of those various scripts directly into your site, you can implement them via Google Tag Manager. So what this allows you to do is not bug your development team every single time you want to deploy a new script, every time you want to test a new tool. You can actually do it yourself. And even better than that is you don't have to wait for the next production push if you have staging environments. And if something happens to go wrong with the script, you can immediately roll it back. You can preview it before it goes on your site. So it has a lot of capabilities, and every single person should realistically be using Google Tag Manager or another tag management system like Tealium. So once you log into Google Tag Manager, you'll set up a new workspace, which is what I have here, and you'll be all set up. Along the side here, you'll have 5 options. Folders is just an organizational structure like you would find in any software as a service. You can just categorize your various tags into folders. And I only have a couple set up. The 3 main components are tags, triggers, and variables. We'll start with variables. So anytime you visit a website, there's a lot of built-in variables that you would like for your tag management system to capture. So if I went to www.plushrepublic.com, Google Tag Manager would catch in what are called their built-in variables what the page URL is, what the page path is. If there's any forms on the page, you'll get their ID. It'll get anything that you click on, it'll pull certain attributes about it. This is really valuable because later on you can use these as triggers to fire various tags to do some more complicated setups within Google Tag Manager. You also have the ability to set user-defined variables. So if I know that I want to capture something on my page on like an on-click event, I can set up some custom JavaScript to capture custom variables that I can use. So that, again, tends to get to a little bit more complicated end of things once you get a little bit of experience with Google Tag Manager, but this allows for a lot of very powerful stuff within the system. The next thing that you would need when you're setting these up is a trigger for firing a tag. So action and reaction is the way to think of these two. When this thing happens, I'll fire this tag. So for example, on all website page views, I want my general Facebook script to fire and my Google Analytics general script to fire. So that's what you see here is I have one set for all clicks, one set for like on the page path equals contact us. So you can set up all of these. Like for example, if I wanted something specifically to trigger when someone visited the resources section of my site, I could very easily set up a trigger to happen on that event. I would come in here, say review pages or whatever you want to call it. And I'll just say page view, not all page views, some, where the page URL contains that. And I'd click save, and now I would have a new trigger so that anytime someone visits that page, I can then fire a tag to do something. So let's hop into there to show you what that looks like. I'll discard these changes. So tags is where I put the individual scripts like I was talking about. Here you'll see I have my Bing, Segment, Facebook Pixel, Google Analytics Pixel, all these are already set up, so I'll just jump into one, but if you want to create a new one, you would just click New here. So for the Facebook Pixel, all I have set up is custom HTML, and this is the Facebook Pixel that Google gives you, or Facebook gives you, and it's firing on all pages. And it's as simple as that, right? If I want to put this on my site, I can push it myself, and I won't need to tie in development at all. It's really, really powerful, obviously outside the initial setup. And what's really cool about this too is it has a preview mode, so you can make sure that things are firing the way that you want them to before you submit it. So if you click preview and then you go back to your website and you refresh, now I'll be able to come in here and see which tags are firing on the page and make sure that's correct. If stuff's firing when it's not supposed to be, it's an easy debug here. What tags aren't firing on the page, so if these are supposed to not be firing and they're here, you're good to go. If they are not supposed to be firing in this section, it means something's wrong and you have to go fix your setup before you push it to production. So this is just like a very basic understanding of what Google Tag Manager is. There's a lot more capabilities, which I'll get into in some other videos, including setting custom variables, pushing data to the data layer. This is where stuff gets really powerful, like personalization and a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do here. But it's very complex, especially if you run like an e-commerce shop, and I'll make some follow-up videos to that. But just the final note here is once you're done previewing, you can leave the preview mode. When this loads, you would click submit, and then it would ask you if you want to submit your changes. You'd submit it, and then it'd be live on your website. So just as like a recap, you can capture variables, use those variables as triggers, use them as various components within your tags and triggers. You set up triggers to fire tags, so anytime you want something to happen and cause an action on your website, you set up a trigger for it, and you set up a corresponding tag to be fired when that trigger launches. You can then preview all this stuff right on your website before submitting it, and then you submit it, and it'll be live on your site, and you can start tracking that stuff immediately. And then one last thing you'd want to look into is here are all the versions of all the different stuff that you have pushed in the past. Is where you can roll stuff back, you can edit notes about it if you do it with a team. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do within here from a versioning perspective. So hopefully this gives you a general overview of what Google Tag Manager is, and it's helpful in your journey of getting your website running on all cylinders and making it easier for you and your development team. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and let me know if there's any other video concepts that you want me to create. I have a running list, and I'm just creating my videos for you guys. It's always helpful to know what it is that you want to see. Have a great one.